Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm Yangyue. In this presentation, I'm going to share the project with you, which is the perception of kindergarten leaders about inclusive education and gender roles in early childhood settings in China. I'll be speaking about the research background and research questions first, then I'll talk about the methodology. After that, I'll present the findings we get from the data, which is followed by the discussion and implications. Let's start by looking at China's National Plan on Implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which lays out the guiding thoughts, general principles, and approaches for the implementation, as well as actions planned by China. Two goals will be highlighted in today's presentation, which provides the foundation for the current study. The fourth goal emphasizes achieving inclusive and equitable quality education. The one specific target I would like to reinforce here is Target 4.2, which highlights early childhood education. Moreover, the corresponding action plan suggests making early childhood education accessible to children with disabilities as well as other less privileged children. Additionally, the action plan also mentioned the need to improve the quality of kindergarten teachers. There are also other recent policies highlighting this topic. Let's then move to the fifth goal, which highlights gender equality. Within this goal, I would like to emphasize Target 5.4. It focuses on promoting shared responsibilities within the family. Apparently, child rearing is one of the main responsibilities in the family context. When we compare fathers with mothers in families, paternal involvement is usually far less than mothers' engagement in supporting children's development. Beyond the family context, similarly, men comprise a very low percentage of the early childhood education workforce globally, and China is no different to that. Therefore, we can see an obvious male absence in early childhood education. Given the gap we find between the goal and reality and the limited research in the field, this study aims to investigate leaders' understanding of inclusion and gender roles in Chinese early childhood settings. The study was driven by the following research questions. The first one is, how do Chinese kindergarten leaders perceive inclusive education? We also focused on what are the challenges faced by Chinese kindergarten leaders in implementing inclusive education. Regarding the gender topic, we would like to know, how do Chinese kindergarten leaders perceive the role of males, including fathers and male early childhood teachers? In this study, participants were selected by non-probability sampling and overall included 15 principals and assistant principals of kindergartens from 5 different provinces in China. Specifically, we conducted semi-structured interviews to collect data. Thematic analysis was applied to generate themes under 2 main topics from the qualitative data. Let's start with the inclusion in kindergartens. The first theme is leaders' perception. Although most of them were not familiar with the term inclusive education, they highlighted the significance of this educational mode. However, participants further identified that the current inclusive education was implemented passively because they were not aware of children's special needs before enrollment and lacked preparation for it. Moreover, the study suggested that most leaders did not know policies related to inclusion, as there is no clear connection between the policy and their practices. The study further indicated that principals develop better understandings when there are detailed policies from the government at the province or city level. Next, lacking resources was identified as a great challenge for promoting inclusion, including both human and physical resources. Leaders stated that the low teacher-student ratio made inclusive education less practicable, as the large class size already meant heavy workloads for teachers. Enrolling children with special needs gave teachers additional responsibilities and tasks. Leaders also mentioned the shortage of physical resources for children with special needs, such as teaching materials and devices, and individual education plans and curriculum. Without these, leaders find it hard to promote inclusive education. The third theme presents the challenges of engaging practitioners in inclusive education. According to leaders, educators usually hold negative attitudes towards inclusion. Additionally, participants regarded teachers' limited awareness of the importance of inclusive education as the main reason for their negative attitudes. Another challenge related to practitioners was their inadequate knowledge and skills regarding inclusive education. According to participants, teachers working in regular kindergartens lacked knowledge regarding children's different special needs and skills to plan learning experience to support all learners' development. Under these circumstances, teachers find it difficult to achieve inclusion and therefore were unwilling to participate in inclusive education. The fourth theme involves challenges of building partnerships with other stakeholders. Firstly, leaders reported difficulties in collaborating with other specialists, such as professionals from health institutions and special education teachers. How to set a common goal for children and how to coordinate multiple parties working together towards the goal is a complicated task. Moreover, barriers are reported by leaders in working with both families of children with and without special needs. The former mostly turn to deny the reality that their children may need extra help, while the latter usually express concerns that their children's development may be negatively influenced by the children with special needs, and further ask kindergartens to exclude them, which always catches educators in a dilemma. Let's then move to leaders' understanding of gender roles. The first theme is gender stereotype regarding child rearing. Leaders identified that fathers' involvement in supporting young children's development remains lacking, and mothers are still considered as primary caregivers. They made examples such as parent-child activities and parent-teacher meetings to illustrate the low level of paternal involvement. In contrast, mothers are usually involved in the above-mentioned scenarios. Additionally, some leaders believe that fathers are less capable of child-rearing than mothers, although they want to encourage paternal involvement. Compared with mothers, fathers know less about children's development and have fewer skills and strategies to support children. Leaders therefore prefer to communicate with mothers. The next theme is males are breadwinners. Fathers usually use their work as an excuse to avoid engaging in child rearing, as they are regarded as providers in families, and they feel that taking care of children is not relevant to them. In addition, when leaders try to communicate with fathers, they often refuse to engage in conversations and request teachers to contact mothers alternatively. Another point is related to male early childhood teachers. That is, low salary is regarded as a barrier for males entering into early childhood education, while not for females. Similar to the role of fathers, leaders propose that males do not accept such a low payment because they need to support the whole family, but females may only need to feed themselves, so low payment is acceptable. Let's then move to the third theme, gender misconception. Leaders perceive that boys are feminized because they are mainly raised and educated by females. Mothers and female early childhood teachers are believed to be over-soft and careful, which tends to influence children's development negatively, especially for boys. Leaders also give the solution to the above-mentioned negative influences, that is, introducing more males in kindergartens. Therefore, male early childhood teachers are regarded as male role models for children to attain feminization. Male teachers are believed to be able to present some gender-specific characteristics, such as courage and perseverance. and these qualities can only be taught to children by male teachers. However, although male early childhood teachers are particularly welcome to this industry, they also face barriers, which is gender-based work responsibilities. Leaders indicated that male teachers are only suitable for implementing certain types of work, such as physical education. They are believed inappropriate to take the role of head teacher in classrooms, as males are less meticulous than females when taking care of children. Specifically, leaders pointed out that male teachers are improper to provide care for female children, which is also a common concern from parents. And now it's a discussion of our study. The findings identify the perception of leaders who participated in this study and revealed the importance of observing social justice and equality in the Chinese early childhood education in terms of awareness about diversity and perceived gender roles. In addition, progress in this area has been found when leaders showed their awareness about the significance of implementing inclusive education, as well as their positive attitudes towards encouraging equal contributions from parents irrespective of their genders. However, when the Sustainable Development Goals and the reality is compared, challenges were visible for several aspects. Firstly, wider support is needed in order to achieve inclusion. Promoting inclusion should not be regarded as a task for educational settings only, but a mission for the whole society. This aligns with Bruno's ecological system theory, which states that instead of developing in isolation, children's development is influenced by the surrounding environment. Therefore, except for the educational context, family and the wider society have influences on children with and without disabilities and children from diverse backgrounds. The findings also indicate that kindergarten leaders show positive attitudes towards males' entry into the early childhood education industry. However, they have an opposite opinion regarding frequent communication with families. They prefer to build relationships with mothers and contact them when necessary because they think mothers are highly involved in child rearing and are better at this than fathers. This view indicates the underlying challenges and the contradiction they have in their mind about gender roles. The findings also revealed that women in leadership positions objectified male educators as a representation of masculinity and the role model for manliness. It therefore indicates that the way leaders describe male early childhood educators' role is not supportive to gender equality. It actually excludes them from the existing early childhood education professions as they are not considered as an equal part of the team. Overall, the study indicates that more actions are needed to work towards the two above-mentioned Sustainable Development Goals. For example, establishing a wider support system for promoting inclusion, which should cover multiple aspects, such as providing professional development opportunities for teachers and creating partnerships among important stakeholders. Moreover, more policies and legislation may be necessary for making progress in gender equality through shifting perceptions of gender roles in society. Additionally, the findings of this study can be considered as the foundation for further large-scale research studies related to the progress of sustainable development in the Chinese early childhood education context. That's all. Thank you for being so attentive. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us.